Welcome back to the Metal Mill 52 workshop. My name is Bill, this is my shop, and in this episode we're going to cover making the wooden plank and installing it, fitting it, finishing it to finish off the 3.5 inch gauge Raritan riding car. And that's kind of self-explanatory. Here's the finished product. This is going to be the last in this whole series, last episode. Really pleased with how this came out, and I hope you enjoy this video. If you have questions, please ask. If you don't have questions but want to encourage me, please give me a thumbs up. And stay tuned for some great content coming up in the next few weeks. Be working on the 7.5 inch gauge Allen Mogul, trying to get that ready to run some this winter. So thanks everybody, have a great during the distance, the length, and no sense even measuring. I can eyeball where the boards need to go to come in. So we'll cross cut all of these and the center one so that they're all the proper length. And then the only other real woodworking, we'll have to rip the center portion a little bit narrower so that we can glue it together with the others, and it'll be the proper width for the fit. I'm going to make it a little bit larger than it needs to be because I can always plane down the edges. But so there we have it. The length's marked out. So it's pretty wood. And the only router, this is a pretty handy tool. Having fun doing this. I haven't done woodworking in a long time. I'm using a little 1/8 inch carbide bit in here. It's a Dremel supplied bit, and just going in and going freehand basically. What's nice is the router actually has a built-in depth stop function, and you can do intermediate cuts too. So that's what I'm going to do. I'll show you. I'm going to loosen this handle here. I don't know how visible it'll be, but I'm going to reduce the depth a little bit. Whoa, more than a little bit. Okay, as you can see, it is spring loaded. Okay, so I'm going to set it for about an 1/8 inch depth of cut right now. Here we go. Tighten it up, and I'm using the mask. I know it looks kind of dorky, but it does a fine job of turning the wood into a very fine dust. So, and one more thing, I'm putting on hearing protection, so you may, if you're using headphones, you may want to turn them down right now. I'll just demonstrate a little bit. So it's an 1/8 inch depth there, and I'm going to notch out the corner here. Now I'm going to adjust the depth a little bit more, go all the way down. So I'll loosen this knob up, and I've got the depth stop already set, so I can just press it all the way down and then lock it and check it. So it's about 3/16 inch now. It's on the centerpiece, and as I wanted it to, it's a little bit larger than it needs to be. So what I'm doing here, I'm taking, this is just a simple plane, hand plane. I've got the board clamped to the edge of my work table here, and I know the section that I need to bring down a little bit. So I'm basically just like using the plane, doing a little hand jointing, taking off a few curls at a time. But I wanted to show, look how nice these curls are. I was a woodworker for 20 years before I got into metalworking. And even simple tools like this is an inexpensive Stanley plane, block plane kind of thing. It can be you can get really good results from it. So give it a couple more pulls. The edge is feeling good. I've got the riding car set on top of my tender. You can get this is the tender for the Allen Mogul. If you can see the 7.5 inch gauge track there and see the 3.5 inch gauge up here, it's a lot different, isn't it? But so this is what I'm talking about with the fit. So I've got them all so they test fit in there, and when I just press this center board up, it presses pretty nice. I think I'm going to get a nice glue joint there. And as you can see, the edge piece here is not falling right into place, but that's kind of by design. It's just probably take off about 30 thou or 1 or 2 trips to the hand plane just to custom fit that board to the center section. So I think we're at a good place right now. Everything lays flat when it has the chance. I'll center glue these, or I'll glue these boards together, let it dry overnight, and then I'll do the final fitting tomorrow, which is Labor Day, so I'm happy about that. Get an extra day for working. All right, got the all the mending plates are on the bottom side there. This is the top side. I flipped it back over. I took the clamps off, and then I reapplied them very carefully, try to keep the warping down. As you can see, I've got some clamps on either end to try to keep things level. There's a little bit of a dip right here, but it's not any big deal. I think we'll be fine there. Plus the whole thing, there's going to be a box seat that I need to build that goes on top of this after. So now we'll just let it dry overnight, and we'll see how it looks when I get it set up. Let me show you. I've got the riding car set inside the stand that I had built for my Allen Mogul. It's a 3-axle locomotive, and that's the stand I had used as I was putting the chassis together. I saved it, so pretty handy. Glad I did. We'll bring you back tomorrow. Alright, so I took the clamps off, and I got the little blocks that I had used to glue everything flat, hold the edges flush. They came off pretty easily. I just had to tap them with a chisel and a hammer. Now I'm taking the chisel and just cleaning up any of the excess glue and kind of leveling things out. A little bit on the bottom here. Just wanted to show this. I'm going to do a little bit more. I'll cut the camera off, but it's just a nice professional thing to do to get a little bit smoother finish on the bottom here. I'll cut the camera off, and then I'll show you. I'll flip it over and bring you back when I can show you the finished product. Alright, here's the bonded board, if you will. You need to do a little sanding here. I did take the plane to it a little bit, and you can see the big steel reinforcements on the back, but the glue is holding it tight. And I did quickly test fit it in the chassis, and I know for sure I'm going to have to do a little bit of sanding and planing to get it to fit just right to sit down in there, which is exactly what I was hoping for. I didn't want it to be too loose inside. So I'm going to clear off some of the woodworking tools. I'll bring the chassis back over here and be able to work on it a little bit, test fit it, and I'll show you what it looks like when I've got that done. So I've got the plank set up inside the Black & Decker workbench here, and I'm using the same little plane just to take a few curls off. Look at that. Beautiful. I'll take one more off, and then we'll do a test fit inside the chassis. Okay. Yeah, Black & Decker Workmate, that's the name of the tool. On my channel I've got several videos about restoring these. Okay, so here's the plank. It's been planed a couple times. This is the front. A little snug, and a little more snug back here, so, okay. Take a few more, and I'll bring you back when it fits perfectly. Just took a little bit of fitting with the plane and the nice sharp knife, and I whittled away a few little extra areas on the bottom, and I got a nice fit to it. Let me show you. This is kind of nice how it set it in there, and everything fits nice and flush. I do need to sand because the screws just that I used on the metal plates, in a couple of places they started to peek through, so I'm going to sand this all down and finish it. And the other thing I need to do is to drill some holes through here that for the mounting bolts. So let me flip this over and I'll hold it up, get a wide angle shot there. I'm going to set it down here. Let me grab the camera and I'll bring it over here and show you what the underside looks like. As you can see, there's plenty of room for the trucks to move. Really pleased with how this basically is all fitting out. So let's do the closer view here. It's so cool looking, all this stuff. You know, the only sad part is that after all that hard work of making these trucks, the delicate little intricate truck with the brake assembly, it's going to be hidden. But nonetheless, I think this looks really cool. As you can see, the steel plates are not in the way of anything, and I could even add more if I needed to, but I don't think I'm going to need to. We'll see. There's the front truck. You can see everything fits nice and flush in there. This is the hole where the mount will get drilled through to mount it, and this hole will be used for the actual connection for the draw bar. Couldn't remember what it's called for a minute there. So mounting hole, drawbar hole there. Alright, looking good. I'll bring you back when I've got it sanded. I think the next step is going to be sanding and staining. I'm outside. I've coated the board with a Minwax, I think it's black walnut stain, which is pretty ugly looking, but actually is, you know, I think it has that kind of industrial type look. I haven't wiped it off yet. I need to let it dry for another couple minutes, and then I'll wipe it off with the clean rag, and then let it dry overnight, and then I'll coat it with some clear polyurethane tomorrow. I just finished putting a coat, the first coat of this acrylic water-based polyurethane on the top part, the wooden part for the riding car, using a cheap foam brush, which is, they work great. I kind of slathered it on thick, so I'm just tipping off the, make it smooth, the final smoothing out here. It dries very quick. I'm going to put at least 2 coats on to give it the kind of protection that we need. There will be a box, a seat box that will sit on top of all of this, but I'll make that at a later date. But I just wanted to show the stain part looks a lot better once it gets a coat of polyurethane. Might as well put a little extra coat on the edges right now. I've got material left in the brush. It dries so fast, it's very handy. The humidity is low in the air here right now. We're having some extremely nice weather for the summertime here on the Gulf Coast. So, looking good. Here's the finished product for the board that's going to go on top of the tender. It looks so much better with that polyurethane on it. It's not, I realize, you know, having been a woodworker for 20 years before I got into metalworking, it's not cabinet quality, but it looks good, I think, and I think it's going to serve its purpose well. As I mentioned before, the actual riding cart has a big wooden box that sits over this, over the whole chassis, and I'm not going to build that now. I'm going to build it later. So I'll install it. Just wanted to show it what it looks like here with the, ended up putting 3 coats of this polyurethane on. It's really great stuff. It's not cheap, but water-based, fast-drying polyurethane semi-gloss. I get this at Home Depot. It's made by Behr, and it's gone up in price quite a bit over the last few years. And I was skeptical of it at first because it's water-based, but I'm here to tell you it does a great job. So I'll put this on. Let me install it in the chassis, and I'll bring you back for a wrap-up. Well, I turned it over so that I could tighten up the little bolts. I put some hex nuts and washers on here. This is the hole that the connecting coupler rod will go through. And I just wanted to, well, I had it, excuse me, upside down and put together. Just loving how it looks, actually. Wanted to shoot another couple of seconds of the video. So it's really pleased. You know, I was second guessing myself with how ugly I thought that dark walnut stain went on when I first put it on, but looks really good. So let me set the camera down here. I've got Russ's camera with a little handy stand so I can set it down, and hopefully that's focused. I've learned one thing is, like, when you want to adjust the trucks, if it's upside down, you lift them up a little bit, because otherwise it hits into the rollers. But okay, there we go. Looking good. That's what it looks like. Hopefully you can see. And keep the trucks together. It's pretty long, obviously. And that whole seat thing, the wooden seat, I mean, that it fits over, it's made to fit over the little stake pockets that holds it steady, and the seat is a box that goes like this, and it has a little T-shaped piece of wood that you rest your feet on. But I don't want to build that until I hook this up to a locomotive like the Titch and actually see what it looks like. So anyway, that's the top board installed as it's going to be for now. And this is going to be a wrap. This is going to be the last video on the project. Let me do one more thing. I just realized. Where did I put it? There we go, the brake handle. Just to make it look complete. So this will be the last video of this project here. I've got some great content coming up. I haven't shot it yet, obviously, but I'm working on the Allen Mogul, so stay tuned. I'll come out with something soon, maybe in 2 weeks. A little project I have to spiff it up, because I really plan on getting it running this winter, and want it to be ready to go. So there you have it, the Raritan riding car. And my thoughts are, some of it was a little complicated, maybe a little bit more complicated than it needed to be. The trucks, they definitely were intricate with the brake system, but I really like the brake system, and that's one of the reasons I wanted to build this. The little decorative details like the stake pockets and the truss rods underneath there, those are a little bit complicated to make, but again, I think it adds something. So all in all, I think it's a good project. It's much different building in the 3.5 inch gauge scale than it is building in the larger scale, and I just realized you probably can't see my head. So building in the larger scale, you know, not only are the pieces bigger, but it's kind of easier. This is a lot more delicate and intricate, and you can, in the larger scales, the 7.5 inch gauge, you can buy a lot of that stuff pre-made. I don't know a lot of sources for pre-made trucks like this. So the 3.5 inch gauge is definitely a different challenge, and something that I've enjoyed it, and really happy, really pleased with how this thing came out. Just looking forward to someday. I think I'll have to build a track, because there's no 3.5 inch gauge tracks around here, but I have some ideas for possibly building a straight one in my backyard or in the driveway or something. Anyway, so this is a wrap for it. I'm really pleased with how it came out, and really excited someday I'll be able to get to use it. So as always, if you have any questions, please ask. If you don't have questions but you enjoyed watching this series, this video, please give me a thumbs up, and because it encourages me to keep making more. And that's all I got.